Well, good Wednesday morning, everybody. I wish I was coming to you with some better news regarding Hurricane Ian, but overnight last night, the storm went through what's called an eye wall replacement cycle, meaning the inner structure of the storm collapses and then a new, larger, more powerful center forms, and that's basically what happened. And it went through that last evening, and when I got up this morning at 5 a.m., the pressure had fallen dramatically, and the winds have increased in kind. So you're looking at a very powerful Category 4 hurricane. It is right under the Category 5 status now. Maximum sustained winds around the center are around 155 miles per hour sustained. And so you can see it's dangerously close to the Florida coast, and I'm recording this around 7:45 in the morning. So this is between about Fort Myers and Cape Coral to the Tampa Bay area, and it's moving just east of north. So in a couple of hours, the eye is going to make landfall somewhere in between those locations, and I'll show you a better vantage point here in a second. So this shows you the radar out of South Florida. And what you're looking at, again, is the eye wall. So wherever this circle hits, that's where the highest sustained winds are in the storm system. And the really dangerous part of this is as the storm is rotating, it's going to send all this water. It's going to push oceanic water onshore here. And so all of these bays in Florida are kind of oriented north to south. And it will push water up these bays and these river channels and cause a lot of flooding. In fact, the Hurricane Center is expecting at least 12 to 16 feet of storm surge in this right section where the water's being pushed on shore. So just to give you a better perspective of what it's looking like. So this is the Fort Myers, Cape Coral area. There's Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte, Englewood, and Sarasota, and up here is the Tampa Bay area. It looks like the center of the storm is going to come across somewhere in this area, and when doing so, this water will get pushed on shore in these regions. And don't get me wrong, on this side, the winds will be blowing this way, but still, you're talking about winds of over 100 miles an hour. So there's going to be a wide swath of destruction throughout this whole area with lots of coastal flooding, tremendous storm surge, very high winds, and then the intense rainfall that's going to accompany this as well. So just to show you what the models are looking like, so I can back this up. This is the European model as of last evening. And you can see here, this is about where the storm is right now at 8 a.m., just southwest of Cape Coral. And you can see at around 11 a.m., it's just about to move on shore. And by around lunchtime or 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. this afternoon, it'll be crossing, again, somewhere between Sarasota and Cape Coral and kind of the Englewood area. Again, as a near Category 5, or it may even be a Category 5 at that point. Then it's going to slowly cross Florida through the Orlando area, and then it will move back offshore near Daytona Beach. So it's going to take its time. So this is Thursday evening at 8 p.m. So it's going to make landfall here around 2 this afternoon, and it's going to take all the way until tomorrow evening at around 8 p.m. to cross Florida. So it's going to move very slowly. So there's going to be a tremendous amount of rainfall and wind damage across much of the central part of Florida, is what we're seeing. When you look at the overall track and how it's going to affect us here in the Carolinas, you see it very tightly clustered models. It's going to cross, move back over to the Atlantic briefly, and then move back onshore, crossing South Carolina and moving somewhere near the Charlotte area over the next couple of days. If we broaden this view out, and I can show you this, if we step this through, this is the same model but more of a broad view. It basically crosses Florida, and you can see this giant rain shield. And in the Charlotte area, all the way from Charlotte to Wilmington to Columbia, kind of this triangular area, the closer these pressure lines are together, the faster the winds become. So you can see across Florida, when you're in the center of the storm, you can see how close they are together. It means really intense wind speeds. As this thing moves northward, you can see it starts raining here basically from the coast. It'll start raining on the coast sometime overnight Thursday into Friday. And then by Friday midday, much of both North and South Carolina have rainfall. And by the end of Friday, you can see widespread rain as the storm moves back on shore somewhere around Savannah and moves inland across South Carolina, bringing tons of rain. And actually, I do think the wind threat has increased somewhat. You can see how close these pressure lines are together. If we look at some of these wind speeds over the next couple of days, you can see there's where the core goes across. You see some of these values, 104 miles an hour, which is crazy. And then that moves over the Atlantic. And then you can see as it moves near us, you can see our wind gusts are going to be easily 35 to 45 miles per hour. So if we do get several inches of rain, that could be enough to knock over some pretty big branches, maybe even some trees across the Carolinas even. So again, watching this as you step it through, that's kind of the average track that most of the models are showing it taking. And if you look at the total amount of precipitation, it's kind of crazy to imagine, but some of these areas in Florida are going to see 6 to 10, 15, some isolated places are going to see 20 inches of rain, and then that rain shield moves our way, and then we start racking up the totals, and we're probably going to see somewhere between 2 and 4, 3 and 5 inches of rain across much of North and South Carolina. It just depends on how the storm kind of lingers in our area. But suffice it to say, this is going to be a very powerful storm. This is a powerful storm, and it's going to cause a lot of destruction across central and West Florida, especially this western part of Florida. But it's going to take its time crossing the peninsula, and I think we're going to see widespread power outages and lots of wind damage from the system. So stay safe out there. I can give you another update later on, probably later today, maybe even tomorrow. We'll see how everything kind of lines up. But stay safe and enjoy your Wednesday. I'll see you all later.